What is up, crew? We are at 5:15 Pacific time, which means it is live time. Welcome into the channel, Chaz Side Hustle Network. Every single Tuesday evening, usually 5 p.m. I was around about 15 minutes behind had to get my eBay packages dropped off at the post office. So we are back on schedule every single week. Tuesday. How are you all doing tonight? It's definitely been some time since we've been back in regular routine as far as YouTube goes. We uploaded our first vlog. I don't even know how many months it's been since we actually produced a vlog episode. It's been many, many months. Feels good to start documenting again. And yeah, so if you guys are enjoying the new episodes coming out, please let me know in the comments. Hit that like button, of course. And comment below audio quality, video. We just switched over internet provider, so hopefully this is a clear live stream. We were having some tech issues in the past. And comment below. Let me know where you guys are watching from. If you are a first-time viewer of the live show. Oh, I have to open up the Facebook tab. Facebook, for some reason, you have to grant them access to be able to show your username. So let me open this tab up so I can actually see who I'm talking to. And we will get the show on the road. I do have a topic of the night I want to hit on before we do Q&A sesh at the end of this. So let me just get this pulled up right quick. All right. I am not connected to my widescreen, so I'm trying to do dual screen here on my little laptop. We'll see if it works. How are you guys all doing tonight? We got Tampa in the house. Got a few different peeps. You guys enjoy that last vlog? I'm trying to get in more documenting the actual just grind of what goes on in this warehouse. And just more of the actual daily life, showing more of the family aspect, because there's a lot of family dynamics that play into this. We have two small kids. You guys have probably seen by now, Ty and Isla. And, you know, in the past, I would try to record the highlights of the day here at the office. And it just never felt like I was showing the actual raw stuff that goes on, because you guys get to see when I'm taking little breaks to play with my kids, dropping Ty off at school, like the normal parenting stuff I do on a daily basis as well. And of course, Trista as well. So I just want to share more of the actual daily behind the scenes. So if you guys are enjoying that type of content, please let me know, because I will keep producing at least one of those vlogs every single week. And I've got a bunch of new stuff coming out as well. We're back on weekly schedule as far as uploading tutorials, vlogs, different styles of videos. I just finished editing a what sold video on 4 high ticket items that you can sell. And that's going to be posted first thing tomorrow morning. It's already done and uploaded. I've just got to get that scheduled out. All right, so let me open up our Facebook group so I can actually see who's commenting on here, because it just says Facebook user. All right, there we go. All right, we got Nicholas, Ed, Omar. What's up, guys? Yeah, Nicholas, 3 under 4. You're a madman. That's a handful, that's for sure. All right, cool. So it looks like you guys are enjoying the new style of vlog. So we'll keep producing those until you guys just say, hey, we don't like these vlogs anymore. That's cool. What is the kind, this is a great question. Then we'll dive in kind of the topic of the night. What is the kind of video I enjoy making? I enjoy making the vlogs. The part about it that I don't enjoy is playing the cameraman. And I'm sure other YouTubers who do vlogs can understand where I'm coming from with this. There's so many missed moments on a daily basis inside of here, because some of the best moments, because we also have 2 part-time employees. So today, for example, it was myself, Ryan, and Jamie. We're all 3 in here just hammering out a client shipment. And we got several hundred units busted out in under an hour. So it was a great setup we had going on. And those are the moments where if I was doing a vlog, I would have to stop, hold my camera up and be like, okay, guys, just act normal. That to me doesn't feel natural. So that part of playing cameraman, I don't enjoy, which is why I'm in the process of interviewing and hiring a videographer to come in here a couple days a week and just follow us around. The most candid moments are never caught on camera, because I don't like having the fact I have to stop every 10 seconds. Like, here's what we're doing now. Here's what we I don't enjoy that aspect. But the vlogs, I do thoroughly enjoy the finished product where you guys get to see kind of a timeline of our day. Huge shout out to Josh, Harry Tornado. You guys talk about just a genuine dude, up and coming major YouTuber. Him and I have been hitting each other up in the DMs on Instagram for a little bit, but Josh is phenomenal, amazing content. So definitely go give him a follow. Thank you so much, man, for the super chat there. Are we doing an ASD meetup? Yes, there will be an ASD meetup. If you guys don't know, ASD is a kind of like a trade show. It's like, well, high-end flea market. It's not a true trade show, but a lot of overstock stuff. We're going to be doing a meetup. We have a house with 12 of us, including myself and our VIP members we're staying at, but we'll do an open public meetup. So I'll post something here on YouTube. I'll do a little video for all that. So let's dive in. Hit a couple more questions. We'll dive into the topic of the night. I'll start driving tomorrow and come do cameras for you. Adam, that would be much appreciated. I cannot stand playing cameraman, which is weird. As a YouTuber, I don't enjoy the cameraman aspect, but I enjoy producing content. So it's a weird thing. So if I can just get a videographer to come in here a couple days a week and just pump out some good stuff. And I enjoy the editing too. I don't even mind that part. I had outsourced all of our editing at one point. And I still have that editor on call if I need, but I enjoy the editing portion. To me, it's kind of relaxing, and I like creating the storyline of what happened that day. What's up, Sean? Says, how is the prep center coming? Much quicker growth than we expected. So that's a good problem. But on the flip side, it's like today, for example, we had 124 units of these big oversized units show up without notice. I didn't know they were coming in, so it's growing very quick, which is a good thing. So we're implementing the systems and efficiencies and all that. Luckily, we put up, you guys probably saw, we did that pegboard set up on the wall with the bubble wrap and poly bags out on the table. So it's a very smooth running system right now, which is great. All right, so let's dive in. A little topic of the night, open discussion, and then we'll do a little Q&A for you guys at the end. So topic of the night, you guys probably saw my little thumbnail and stuff floating around too. It all comes down to just having clarity in your life. You like the little thumbnail where I made it a little distorted, so it's not exactly clear. That is something we went through for many, many months. Myself, I go through, and Trista, we'll bring Trista on. P.S. Trista can't be on the live show tonight. She threw her back out pretty bad. So sitting down is not exactly in the menu for tonight for her. So she's at home resting up. But the topic is, for myself, and I'm curious if you guys go through this as well. I think it's just human nature to go through waves of having slight, not even necessarily burnouts, but just having those times where you're not exactly motivated, right? Those are times that come in major waves. I feel like I go through pretty big peaks and valleys as far as the burnout thing goes. And it's been a couple years since I've had an actual burnout, because I was very well balanced throughout all of 2018. I had a crash and burn in 2017 towards the end of Q4. And at one point I let my health slide tremendously. So I was having like heart palpitations, and I've shared this story a couple times. So I was just having some weird health stuff going on. And it was all correlated to stress. It was all correlated to allowing myself to slip into a funk, in a bad mental place, and not getting out of it, and just being overwhelmed, saying yes to too much. And so 2018, I resolved all that, and I created a well-balanced system in our life so I can actually have some type of clarity going on. And I hit that again, unfortunately, back in like November-ish, a little bit before November probably. I just started to feel that wave of more and more days started happening where and it's so hard to describe. Some of you understand what I'm talking about. It's not that you just wake up, you're like, wow, I don't feel like doing much today. It's like I would catch myself just staring at my phone, scrolling through Instagram for like an hour straight before I got out of bed. It's so hard to describe the type of feeling it was. But I eventually got over that, started getting my shit back together, and that's where we are today. I feel phenomenal. At one point, I'm going to tie this all together for you too, but I had one point, I was back up to 220 pounds, which unhealthy weight for me. I felt like garbage. I was out of breath doing stupid stuff like going up to we have a loft where we keep our eBay inventory. And every time I had to pull inventory, I just look at these damn stairs like, oh man, I'd get out of breath going up the flight of stairs, just really bad mental place and physical place. So I started resolving all of that. And there was a motivational video I was listening to a couple months ago, like right before January kicked around. Of course, I wanted the big 2020 push, set the goals for the year. And I heard this phrase on this video I was listening to when I was at the gym. And for some reason, it hit me so hard. I've listened to it over and over since then, and it's not clicked the way it did that single moment in that single day when I was just in the right mental state that I needed to hear this and implement it. And it was get connected with your life again. And this whole, like in that moment when I heard that, this whole flash visually of trying to describe the best way to do this. It's almost like you have this old school antennas on your TV. And if they weren't angled the right way, you can still kind of see the picture, but it was fuzzy. It was not a solid connection. Or if you've got choppy Wi-Fi, the connection's there, it takes a little time to load, but it's not as crystal clear as it can be. And for some reason, hearing that phrase on that video just clicked with me that day. And this was about 8 weeks ago, about 2 months ago. I'm now down to about 203 pounds. So I've lost 17 pounds. Pure stress, by the way. That's not, I mean, I'm sure half of it's water weight, but that shows you the level of stress I had taken on throughout 2019 again. And I was just saying yes to too much, overwhelming myself. It was starting to affect every aspect of our life. Our Amazon sales pretty much shrunk to nothing. Our eBay sales started to shrink because as I got more and more into this funk and not fixing it, the more I got into this funk, the less I was doing my own eBay listings. I was at 10 a day for a while and our sales were doing great. And then all of a sudden I stopped listing as much and I was struggling to do 5 a day. And then it got to the point where I didn't list for about 2 months. And everything got so unclear. Everything got so fuzzy. That connection was not there. And again, tying back to that phrase, get connected with your life again. That hit me like a rock. And I know this is not going to click with a lot of people. That's totally fine. This is only meant for the 1 or 2 people who are going to watch this and do something with it, whether you get inspired or just take a piece of advice, whatever the case may be. So just here sharing kind of my own process and story that I went through over the last few months. So getting clear with your expectations, getting clear with your actions, getting clear with your goals. I'm all about goal setting. I'm all about crushing those milestones. But too many people, and I struggle with this too, which is why I like to talk about it. Too many people are setting these big, massive goals and expecting them to just magically happen without focusing on the daily routines and habits. Your habits, whether they are good or they're bad, are creating the results that you have today. So if you're having a lack of results, you can't blame anyone else but yourself. It's not Amazon's fees that are crushing your business. It's not eBay's algorithm that's crushing your business. You are solely responsible for all of it. And the second you learn to take personal responsibility, which is what I had to do about 8 weeks ago, I got off the pity potty. I had to finally just take ownership of my own life again, get connected back in my own business, get connected back with my family. You can imagine if the business was struggling that much because of me, my personal life was not fantastic either. I was distant from my own kids. I was distant from my own wife. I was unconnected from everything and everyone. The second that I sat down, I laid out a new game plan. And that I can't tell you, my game plan has nothing to do with you, by the way. A lot of people are like, what's your game plan? What do you do every day? My daily routine has zero impact on you, and you can follow exactly what I do every day, and you'll get a totally different result because guess what? We are 2 different people, 2 different sets of habits, 2 different goals, 2 different. You guys get where I'm going with that. I'm good with throwing pity parties. I get that 100%. I've been to many, many of them myself. Point being, get connected back in your own life. Use that phrase if you need it. Some of you are kicking ass. Keep doing it, right? You don't need to sit here and listen to this. But for the few of you that keep struggling, take a hard look in the mirror because that's what it comes down to. That's what it came down for me, is looking myself in the eyes and saying, I've had enough with your bullshit. That's when things started to change. And in that moment, if you make a decision and you don't create new actions and habits out of that, let's call it hactions. That's what was coming out at first. If you don't create new actions from that decision, you never actually made that decision. And that's something I've been taking to heart lately. Every decision I make has to have an action to back it up, or that decision was never truly made. It's so easy in these times when you feel sorry for yourself and you're down, you're not motivated, you're in the funk. It's so easy to think, wow, it'd be so nice to be able to do X, Y, and Z this week or this month. I'm going to start going to the gym again. I'm going to start sending in more Amazon inventory. I'm going to start eBay listing again. Whatever the case may be, if you say it out loud, cool. But what are you doing? What game plan are you going to follow to get there? If you say you want to have a 6-figure business this year, great. Doesn't mean crap unless you are going to back it up with 6-figure action plan. And that comes down to your small daily habits and routines. That's one other thing a lot of people tend to look at is, I used to be in this mindset of, if I want to achieve these big, great goals, I need to show up with big, great actions. And I've learned that I would always fall short because I had this huge expectation of myself. And I'm all about dream big, think big. I'm all about that. But the big goals will never be achieved if you don't focus on the small daily habits and actions that you're doing. I've seen too many people in my day, my past life as the fitness coach. I've seen too many clients that would come up and they would say the typical thing. I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to lose 100 pounds. I've helped people lose 50 and 100 pounds. So I've seen enough clients and worked with enough people to understand the habits that are backing this up. And I've worked with too many people that say, I want to lose 100 pounds. Great. What's your time frame? I want to do it in a year. Awesome. What are you going to do this week to start getting there? And it usually starts with, I don't know, start going to the gym. Cool. But you need to put some numbers to that. How many days a week are you going to go to the gym? How many meals a day are you going to eat? Are you going to do intermittent fasting? You've got to set these game plans in action. Focus on those small daily increments. Because if you focus on let's bust out calculator real quick, because I don't math. I don't math very well. If you want to lose 100 pounds, and by the way, this can directly be correlated to your business too. Think of it as $100,000 in a year, sales, profit, I don't care. But if you want to lose 100 pounds in a year, that's a huge number, right? That's a very distant thing, it seems like. And if you think about it in terms of, well, I have a whole year to do it. If you think in those terms of focusing on the large goal, and again, you've got to have some targets. I'm all about that. But if you just focus on the large goal being 100 pounds or 100 grand in a year in your business, if you focus on that, napkin math, I should get Martin up here for the math stuff. He's the whiz at it. If you focus on the long-term big goal, it's holding today less accountable because, for example, if you want to lose 100 pounds, and you skip a workout today and you just go eat a bunch of pizza, in your mind, you're going to think, oh, it's okay. I have a whole nother year to hit that goal. So you guys see where I'm getting at with that? If you focus on the long-term goal, that distant thing, it's so much easier to have today not be held accountable because you're always going to think. If you struggle for the next month, in your head, you might think, well, it's okay. I have 11 more months to hit my goal. It's okay. I have 10 more months, 9 more months. Next thing you know, you're back in the same position next year as you were this year. So if you want to lose 100 pounds, you don't focus on the 100 pounds. Set the target. Cool. But we need to break that down. Divided by 12, that's 8.33 pounds per month. You need to focus on losing. If you're thinking about the business side, if you want to make 100 grand in sales in a year, that's $8,333 per month. That seems a little more doable. Now, if you break that down even more, divided by 4, now we're looking at per week. That's 2.08 pounds per week, or about 2 grand per week if you're talking about the business aspect. So that's what you focus on. The small weekly, and you can even break this down per day. Let's go divided by 7. That's 0.29 pounds, right? You start focusing on the per day. And that's what, $290, about roughly $290 a day. Martin, where's my napkin math? I'm just shouting out numbers at this point. But if you produce about $290 a day, chances are you're going to be a six-figure seller at the end of the year, or whatever goal. You can divide that up however you want. But that's what I started thinking about 8 weeks ago, and I started implementing in our own life. I knew that it started with me. Before I was able to improve anything in our business, none of it would happen if I didn't start with me. So I had to look at my own life. Okay, what are the areas of my life that I'm either not completely happy and satisfied with, or areas that I'm happy with, but I know I'm not giving them my all? So there you go. 290 times 365, $105,850. I knew it started with me. I started looking at the areas of my life. First and foremost, before anything, if I don't feel my best, I'm not going to be giving my best to my family, to my business, to any of it, to you guys. Do you guys notice I didn't produce YouTube videos for like 3 months? You can call it taking a break, but I felt like shit. I was overwhelmed. I by the end of the day, there's no way I can give you guys my best on screen here. There's no way. So that's what I started thinking about and implementing. I started with me, and I knew it started with my health, my mentality, my physical body. When I feel good physically and mentally, guess what? You guys get my best. My family gets my best. I come in here and I kick ass in the business. When I feel like garbage and I have to drag my sorry ass in here, I don't get a whole lot of productive work done. I'll find ways to stay busy, but I don't get a lot of productive work done. I'm going to hit pause real quick because I noticed my computer is not plugged in, charging, and I'm going to die. So hold on real quick. See if my charger will reach here. All right, we're good. We're good. All right, we're plugged in. We're back. Brief intermission. Thank you. So it started with me. I started improving the habits. Again, I set the goals. I knew that, okay, I need to be, just knowing my history, I need to be at about 190 pounds to feel my best. That is such a healthy, just great weight for me. So I knew that was the goal, but I didn't focus on the goal. I would simply focus on what habits need to start happening, like non-negotiable habits. By the way, these have to be daily routines that are non-negotiable. And it's so easy when you feel motivated to set a goal or like a task you're going to do the next day. How many of you have ever said, oh, I'm going to start going to the gym tomorrow. I'm going to start walking. I'm going to start eating right. And then the next day comes, you're like, well, I don't really feel like it today. I'm just going to eat whatever I want, skip the gym, not do my yoga, right? We've all been there, done that. If you keep doing that and making these goals when you're motivated, and then when you're not motivated, you don't follow through with that, you are no longer committed. So when you set these new habits I'm talking about, they have to be non-negotiables, and that's an agreement you have to make with yourself. You have to make an agreement with yourself that you are going to show up no matter what and get it done. So for me, I'm just laying out my own personal little game plan that got me to where I am today, because I am a different human being now than I was 8 weeks ago. I started with my health, and I'm not up here to preach the health stuff, but it, like, so many people, I've gotten so many messages. People are like, I'm here for the business stuff. I'm here for the reselling content. I want you to talk about Amazon FBA. I want you to talk about eBay. I don't really get it when you talk about the fitness stuff, because it's part of my life, number one. But number two, it will improve every other aspect of yours, including your business. I've helped a couple people here in the reselling community lose 30, 40, 50 pounds. 100% of the time, they always come back and thank me because they saw improvements in every aspect of their life. I started with the health. I had been going to the gym this whole time, by the way, but I was going through the motions. I was not connected. Going back to that original phrase that sparked this whole topic, I was not connected. I was going to the gym. I was going through the motions. I was pushing a little bit of weights around, doing a little stair stepper, but I wasn't connected. I wasn't focused. I wasn't pushing with intensity, pushing to and past my limits like you should be in order to physically and mentally change your body. So that was number one, is get connected back with my workouts again. I actually pushed my body to the point I hadn't been sore from a workout in like 6 months. And now I'm sore almost every single day. So I started getting connected back with that. On the nutrition side, I started getting connected with the nutrition again. I'm not up here to preach, you got to do keto, you got to do carnivore, you got to go vegetarian, you got to do intermittent fasting. I don't care what you start with, just pick any plan. Guess what? They all work. How many people have you seen? They're like, I went vegetarian or vegan, I lost weight and I feel great and I sleep better. And then you get someone on the polar opposite that goes carnivore and says, I went carnivore, I lost weight, I feel great, I sleep great. It doesn't matter what plan you follow, they all have the same premise. You're typically going to eat a little bit less calories, you're going to cut out all the sugar and the junk, and you're going to start feeling better. Pick any plan. Don't care what it is. If you want a personal recommendation, intermittent fasting, absolute must. Game changer in my own world with the health stuff. Intermittent fasting, as much as I hate the hype it has become, I feel my best when I do keto. I've even experimented with carnivore. I've gone 30 days strict. I have it all documented on video and I just haven't edited the thing together, but I've gone 30 days strict carnivore, no cheats, literally just meat for 30 days. Guess what? I felt phenomenal. As much as I hate the restriction of it, I felt phenomenal. But I say that because that may not work for you. You may operate best being a vegan. There's no right or wrong way to do any of this. You have to figure out what's best for you. But the point being, choose a nutrition plan, choose any workout plan. I don't care if you just walk 15 minutes a day, do a little bit of yoga, go to the gym, choose any plan. Those are your first two starting steps. If you were looking for an actual step-by-step on what I did to resolve some of these issues going on in my life and get out of the funk, this is exactly what I did. It starts with you. Your mental clarity, and reading, by the way, personal development style reading, books, audiobooks, all about that life. I started doing that about 8 weeks ago. I'm currently trying to bust out 2 books a month. Physically, like actually reading. I tune out too easily if I listen to audio, so I'm actually reading the books. So those are 2 starting steps. You got to fix yourself. It starts with you. The next phase I started looking at is, if I know that my home life is not on point, if I don't feel connected and on the same page with my own family, it's really hard for me to focus when I come here to work. And especially for those of you that are still working in your home, that's your home office, your home business, it's going to be even more difficult, because when I come here, if it's just me coming by myself, I'm kind of disconnected because I'm physically away from my family, but it bothers me. It's hard for me to focus if things are not right in the home, right? If Trista and I just had gotten into some type of argument over something and we left not resolving that, that's going to be on my mind until it's resolved. Some of you don't have that issue. You can just leave with no resolution. You're fine. I need to have my home life in check. So I started putting dedicated time for my kids. I started playing with my boy again. I started being home to hold my little girl. Who's 9 months old now. And I started connecting with Trista, my wife, again. We started going on date nights. That all had to be resolved first before I ever touched the business. Now, moving forward, that all is resolved. I'm good there. When I come to work, I feel clear-headed and energized to actually get my stuff done. So then I had to break down. We're in a little bit of a different position than many of you, because some of you are just reselling on the side as far as Amazon, eBay, combo of both. We're in a slightly different position. We run multiple side hustles. I'm going to do a video coming up that's going to break down every income stream that we have. But we have a lot to juggle. And that was part of the problem. I had created different types of revenue streams for us, which is great. Our risk is spread out. Like, if, knock on wood, if Amazon shut us down tomorrow, it would suck. It would hurt, but we'd be okay. We've got cushions in place. We've got other income streams. If eBay shut us down, same story. We've created these multiple revenue streams, side hustle network. because we believe in diversifying your income, spread out the risk. That's just always something that we preached and wanted to do for ourselves from day one. That's nothing new. We've been doing that for 4.5 years. So with the multiple revenue streams, I was focusing too much on the tasks in each one that were not revenue producing, that were not making profit. Prime example, as dumb as it sounds, I was the one that was breaking down all the cardboard from shipments, and because we get a lot of OA orders in every week, I was the one breaking down the cardboard and going and dropping it off at our recycle center. Doesn't seem like much, and it sounds really dumb, but that took about an hour. I should have been putting that hour into more sourcing. So these are the things I started to adjust. I started really adjusting on each of our business models. Amazon FBA, we have eBay, we have local selling as far as we have a brick and mortar shop. We do a local warehouse sale once a month. We also have, I don't focus on it, but Trista does Poshmark. And then we also have our VIP group. We have an online arbitrage leads list that we produce. And now we have our prep center. So I had to break down each of these and look at what are the top tasks that I should be focusing on that help produce more profit. That's what I had to start adjusting. So I started getting myself out of those positions that were just dumb things, not making money. That's what ultimately helped resolve the cash flow issue that we ran into. That's a whole different video topic we'll get into. So that helped resolve all of that. I can go another hour talking about all this stuff, but I just wanted to bring it up that's an overview. If you are not connected with yourself, if you're not connected with your actions, if you're not connected with your actual business, if you're not connected with all the things that you need to be improving, and you're just going through the motions, you're going to hit a burnout. That's ultimately what causes my burnouts. I know it's different for each of us. This is what happens to me. When I get disconnected, my motivation starts to kind of slowly taper off. And then there's more and more days where I really am not doing a whole lot. I can be busy for 8 hours, no problem. But on paper, did I get anything done? Like any actual productive work done? There were so many days where I'd come in here and I'd work for 8 to 10 hours, go home. And then Trista would be like, how many eBay listings did you get up today? I'd be like, none. She's like, how many FBA shipments did you ship out? None. She's like, did you record any YouTube videos? No. Well, what'd you do today? I don't really know. I had too many of those days. So if you're in that same position, and again, this video is not for everybody. It's just for the 1 or 2 people who are going to watch this, maybe get a little bit inspired to start creating some action. But if you're stuck in that funk, it's going to be a momentum that you have to build up. It's not like you're going to watch this video, create your action plan, and then boom, tomorrow you're living life and kicking all the ass. It's not how it's going to work. Momentum takes time. But once you have momentum, it's so much easier to keep it going than it is to restart. And listen to this, and then we'll dive into Q&A session for you guys. If you are sick and tired of constantly restarting stuff in your life, whether it's your personal life on the health and the wellness side, your personal life and your spiritual, your personal life with your family, or the business, if you are sick and tired of constantly restarting, then stop quitting. That's what it came down to for me. I stopped quitting. I don't know what it was, but I would focus on something, progress in it, and then there was always this wall where I would hit a certain point and call it comfort, call it just being complacent, which is a huge danger zone. I would hit a point of being complacent, and I would stop focusing with the intensity that I had and stop being consistent because I was comfortable. And then the results started to dissipate back down to zero. If you are going through that, stop quitting. Start focusing on the small habits and daily actions that will resolve most of your issues, I can assure you. So that was a mouthful. I'm sure there's like 5 people that listen to this entire thing. Now we'll dive into general Q&A sesh. If you guys want to talk reselling, like if you want to talk health and wellness, I don't care. I'm all yours for the next like 20 minutes. So that was my take. And I'm curious too, if you guys want to open up and share a little bit about maybe some of the struggles you have been through, maybe some of the ups and downs that you guys have had. Comment section is all yours. If now is a time that you want to just own up to just flat out being lazy and procrastinating, do it. I've had to do that many times. I've had to call up people and tell my wife and tell my business partners, listen, I've been a dick. I've been an a-hole over the last 6 months. I've been procrastinating projects. I've been putting off stuff, and it's not fair. I'm now taking ownership. I apologize for my actions. I'm ready to start clean and start showing that I can produce the results I say I can. Those are conversations I've had many times. They're never easy. But once you own up to something and just get it off your chest, get a clear head. Again, this is all about bringing clarity back into your life. If you don't have clarity in your life, you're going to have a really hard, you can still produce results without having clarity, but you're going to have a really hard time having joy. And I guess that's the word it all came down to for me. I lost my sense of joy. I wasn't sad. I wasn't depressed. It's just this weird mental place where you're just going through the motions each day. And I wasn't finding joy. I lost joy in all the work stuff that we do with our business. I lost joy in just hanging out at the house with my family. I lost joy in my physical fitness that I'm trying to improve. I was cruising. I was on cruise control. That's not a healthy place to be. So if you guys are in that place, get out of there. Start with one little step. That's all it takes. Just commit to one new habit, one new action this week. That's all it takes. And I hope I get an email a month from now that says, hey, Chaz, I watched that live stream you did. I implemented 1 or 2 new habits, and here's the result it produced. I would love to get an email like that. Those are my favorite. Mr. Martin, Real Life FBA, is that the weekly ad spot? You're telling me what I need to hear, my friend. Thanks for the super chat, man. But yeah, I'm curious if any of you have struggled with some of the similar stuff. I know each person's different. I just wanted to get all this kind of like out of my brain onto a video. And I always think it's cool to watch some of my old content when I can reflect back on these times when I was struggling. I by far am no expert in reselling. Sure, we have a large YouTube channel. We have a large audience, all that fun stuff. Numbers are bullshit, guys. Literally could care less. Couldn't care less. I always say that wrong. I couldn't care less about the numbers. It's the impact that we're having on the community. You don't have to be a large seller to have an impact. And we're a prime example of that. We're not large sellers. We're not experts in the field. We're just a couple people making ends meet with the family hustle, and we enjoy every single second of it. We just happen to be blessed by some weird crowd of people that enjoy watching us for some reason. All right, open Q&A sesh. Got a little bit of time. I'm going to let you guys drop comments in there. I talked a lot. My throat's a little dry. I'm going to grab me a bubbly. And no, it's not the type of bubbly I wish it was. It's actual bubbly. And the pineapple one is fairly good. I'm enjoying this one. All right. Well, we got like 10 people still watching this thing. You guys are crazy. Appreciate you being here. Yeah. Zach said, I'm a gym rat myself. Haven't been going lately because of a new baby. Amen. I get that 100%. New baby life is, it could be rough in the beginning. No time for business. Wife wanted me to stay home more often. I feel better going to the gym. Yeah. And that's, you got to make those sacrifices. We did the same thing. We have 2 kids. Our recent one, Isla, she's 9 months old, but those first like 2-3 months, you're not sleeping a whole lot. They're up 2, 3, 4 times a night. And Trista and I came up with like tag team systems. So we'd alternate who got to feed her at night. And it just, there was not a whole lot of gym sessions going on during that time. You feel better going to the gym, but you got to make those sacrifices sometimes. So hopefully your new baby starts to get more sleep and you can start to find those little pockets of time to go take care of yourself. I'm feeling pretty discouraged. I've listed over 200 items in 3 weeks and business is still inconsistent. Well, congrats on listing 200 items in 3 weeks because that's a beast. Second, It depends on the types of items you are listing. I'm assuming you're talking about eBay here, but it depends on what you're listing. I think too many people try to focus on the total number of listings that they have and using that as I'm trying to think of the right word here. Too many people are focusing on the number of listings as some type of milestone to how their business should be performing. And it's not. Some of the best eBay stores that I know of don't even have many listings up because they're listing stuff that's in such high demand that they're selling through quickly. Same thing with Amazon FBA. Some of the largest multi-million dollar sellers that I know don't carry more than 50 or 60 SKUs at a time. They're going very deep on those SKUs and they're selling a lot of them. But that's an example of it's not necessarily about the 200 items that you listed. It's about listing items that are in demand. So they show active solds happening every single week. And then it comes down to, your prices. It comes down to are you running PPC or sponsored ads? Are you taking great photos? Are you putting your title and the keywords and all that? There's a lot of little tweaks you can try to make, but it all comes down to listing things that are in demand. Joanne says, I appreciate this video so much. I feel just like you. I started keto and fasting 2 weeks ago, lost 10. Congratulations on that. I've been on Amazon, eBay, plus work full time. It is scary to stop my hourly job. Yeah. And that's another video I want to produce very soon, is talking about the pros and cons to going full time as a, self-employed or reseller, whatever you want to call yourself. There's a lot of pros and cons to it, and I do not recommend anyone quit their day job until you hit specific requirements is what I would call those. But yeah, stay at the job as long as you can. That's probably one regret that we both have, is we quit our jobs too soon. We had about $2,000 to our name. We had a 500 credit score. We were not in a position to be quitting any good, secure jobs. It's a double-edged sword. I think because we had no choice but to make all this work, we did. But that was a very tough first year that we had. And I'm going to do some videos talking more about that. But yeah, keep the job as long as you can until you're doing very, very well for yourself. Is it really mainly about consistent listing for eBay to be successful, just like consistency in all other life efforts? In my personal opinion, yes. Anything is about the consistency. Right. And that can be good or bad. If you consistently do bad habits every day, you're not going to be in a very healthy spot. Right. But if you do healthy habits every day, be consistent, you're going to be in a good spot. Same thing with eBay. Same thing with Amazon. It's, eBay is about listing the items, right? So consistently listing items, good items. You can list garbage every day and you won't make any sales. So list in demand items, stay consistent, and you will get the sales. Amazon FBA. You can send in FBA shipments every single week of garbage that's not selling and has no keep a chart history. You can do that all you want. You're not going to make many sales. But if you consistently send in good inventory that Keepa right there shows it's moving, then yeah, you'll make some sales. But consistency, as cliche as it is really the key. Not getting any hits on my eBay listings. What are some things I could be doing wrong? Again, I would just take a look at what type of items do you have. That's always a first starting point. We even in our own store, we're going through kind of liquidation phase right now with a bunch of our inventory. And I'm going through and I'm looking at some of the listings that aren't moving. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's a shitty item. I bought it because it was cheap. I thought it would sell for a certain price, and it's not, because it's just not a good product. So sometimes you have to just go through a deep dive in your own store and just be unbiased. Is this a good buy or is it a bad one? And then liquidate it somewhere, whether you do a garage sale, drop your price to break even, do something. As far as actual tweaks, I just mentioned those: photos, title, your price, if you're running sponsored ads or not. There's a couple of tweaks you can look at. Miss Gretchen said, I had a question about finding suppliers. They're currently drop shipping on Shopify. Do you want to talk about finding suppliers, process, questions you ask? Let me scroll up. This is the hard part with the chat sometimes. I don't know where that question was. Oh, there we go. All right. Sorry for the hold up, guys. I'm trying to find. Here we go. I know this might not be related, but I'm currently doing Shopify drop shipping. I'm contacting suppliers right now. It's a slow process. I was wondering if you had any tips on finding suppliers. As far as drop shipping specifically, we don't drop ship. I don't personally recommend it unless you were following the TOS wherever. You're obviously doing it right. You're doing it with Shopify, so you're not violating like Amazon TOS or anything like that. I personally don't have any recommendations. I just don't drop ship. I don't know the process of suppliers for that. If we're talking more Amazon FBA side, that's where I can give a little bit more advice. So if you have a more clear question, you can drop that below too. What time do I start and end my fast? I tried doing it, but I got too hungry. There's going to be an adjustment period. It took me probably 3 or 4 weeks until I stopped having the hunger, right? The hunger pangs. Typically, I've been intermittent fasting for like probably 3 or 4 years now. It started just 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I would only have my eating window from 12 to 8. So I was doing the typical 16-hour fast. I would eat between 12 and 8, usually 2 or 3 meals. And I just did that a couple days a week. And then I started seeing results. I'm like, well, I wonder if I can do this 5 days a week. So I did Monday through Friday and I ate normal throughout the weekend. And then got to the point where I started feeling so much better in the mornings up until noon when I didn't have food in my stomach, especially when I worked out. I felt great. So I just started doing it 7 days a week. And that was like 2 years ago. So for the last 2 years, I've not eaten before noon most days. And now I'm to the point where I can do a 3-day fast. No issues. I don't have many hunger pangs. I don't have many things going throughout that. Now the key is electrolytes will make a huge difference. So I do recommend getting some good electrolytes. But in general, like a typical day, I'm trying to think what I did today. So today was a little different. Today was really busy on the prep center side. I actually have to finish another client shipment after this. But on the prep center side, we didn't get done shipping until 2:30 in the afternoon. And I was fasted 100%. So I went to the house and I am kind of doing a little carnivore-ish diet right now, just kind of like shredding up. We have a Spartan race coming up in Vegas. So I didn't eat till 2:30 and I had basically 2 ribeye steaks. I knew I wasn't going to eat again till late tonight. So I had 2 ribeye steaks and I'm not going to eat again until probably 8 o'clock. So today's an example of just 2 giant meals. I'm still getting all my calories in. I'm still eating about 24 to 2,800 calories a day. They're just in 2 big meals rather than 5 mini meals. You could do whatever you want with that. But in general, I'm going to say I usually will fast up until 1 on a perfect day. And then I'll stop eating at about 8. So that like 1 to 8 window is kind of what I would say is my average. Gotta go. Daughter just got out of surgery. Thanks for the motivational videos. Well, I hope everything is well with your daughter. And I can't believe you were watching this while waiting for her to be out of surgery. Baby is 10 months old now, considering didn't do much with my business last year. Been awesome growing FBA business, doubling profits from previous year. Congrats on that. Anticipating baby. We shipped out majority of items to FBA. Yeah. And that's a prime example too. If you guys know that you have these extended times where you're not going to be able to focus much on Amazon FBA or eBay, try to do a whole bunch of products up front before that time happens. Martin even said the same thing. Quit my job way too early. I caught a few breaks, but I'm rolling now. Yep. And Martin understands too, it's a double-edged sword, because while we may regret a little bit quitting the jobs too early, it's almost the fact that you have your back up against the wall is the reason why you survive and then you eventually thrive. So it really is a double-edged sword there. Punches resales. Man, I get so much motivation from your videos. I work 40 to 60 hours at a full-time job and do around $3K a month in sales with everything coming from bins. Also have 3 kids, 1 year, 6 years, 14 years. Well, congratulations on that. That is crushing it. Yeah, and you've just got to find ways to be really efficient with your time. That side hustle phase, when you have a full-time job and you're working a side hustle on the side, it's tough. And I think that's why most people quit, right? Most people don't even start, or they quit within a year because it's extremely difficult. When you do start to scale, so for me, for example, I was a full-time massage therapist, 6 days a week, 36 clients a week. I was working on 6 a day, sometimes 7 on busy weeks. And I was building my side hustle at night. And I was fortunate that I was able to eventually transition. So as the side hustle grew, I would then go to 5 days, and then 4 days, and 3 days. Once I was down to 2 days a week at my job, and my side hustles were making more than my job was, that's when I put in my 2 weeks and quit there. Working on getting organized, wasted so much time searching for stuff and ordering incorrectly because I didn't know where inventory was located. That is huge. Yeah, if you can get your organization down, I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference. I tell you what, I am very unorganized as a human. And like, you can imagine what the business side looks like sometimes. I'm very unorganized. I understand that. I accept it. I'm getting better. But doing the prep center, and I'm looking over here when I say prep center, because we've currently got like, I don't even know, there's probably 50 or 60 boxes that need to be processed in the next 2 days over there. The prep center forced me to get more organized with everything because, one, we don't have a massive warehouse, right? We have limited space for the prep center side because we still have our own operation going on the other half. So that forced me to get physically organized. We put up the bubble wrap on top of the wall with the pegboard system. We got organized with the like little stuff, like where the poly bags are placed. Everything's about efficiency now. And after each client is shipped, we clean everything and reset. So there's no craziness going on. We're not tripping over boxes or anything like this. On the eBay side, we did the same thing. All of our eBay inventory is now skewed and listed correctly so that we're not spending time looking for the item. We know exactly which bin, which letter, which number it is. So I highly recommend just take half a day, or in our case, it took like 2 days to do the eBay stuff because it was a lot of items not categorized at all. So it took us about 2 days of just get upstairs and grind it out. And then it was done. And now shipping is a breeze because we know where everything is. So get organized, clean your desk. Like, mine's not crazy messy right now, shockingly, but a clean workspace makes a world of difference. Gretchen says she fasts between 11 and 7, which is perfect. I think it depends on what time you get up by 5 a.m. daily. Yes, that's something recently I noticed too. So my typical fasting is between about 1 and 7 or 1 and 8. That was based on me waking up at about 8 most days. I've also been on the 5 a.m. kick lately, and I've noticed I'm definitely hungrier at about 11 now. So I'm actually considering adjusting my window back a little bit because of getting up early. Chaz, it looks like you're out of bubble wrap. That one is empty because we actually don't even use these tables much anymore. We have 2 bubble wrap stations. They're fully stocked at all times over on the prep center side. This is more of like our eBay shipping station. And I haven't needed to use bubble wrap for, I don't know, at least a month, just because we've been using the Scotch Flex and Seal for all of our bubble wrap stuff. What happened to your Funko background? This is only one half. The other half is still loaded. I've actually been selling off a bunch of Funkos. I'm making room, getting more into like the retro video game side rather than Funko Pops. I don't know if you guys saw this. So I'm getting more into this world, which means some of my Funko Pops need to be sold so I can make room for this stuff. Factory sealed retro games. Kind of my jam I'm getting into right now. Am I still doing electronics? Yes. I'm not hitting it nearly as hard as I was, all because of time. So when I was doing, especially with like the 10K challenge, that was all based on electronics. But what people didn't see was I had to go find all the stuff in Goodwills and Facebook Marketplace. So I was constantly needing to go out and source like 3-4 days a week. That became an issue, and I wasn't able to do that once we started doing the prep center. Once we started scaling our other businesses, because physically I just don't have time to go out and source as much. I'm working on resolving that so I can get back out into more stores, especially with electronics. But I'm learning to cherry pick, very much so this year. I am cherry picking. Like I went out sourcing the other day and I passed on so many items I can make $10 on, but then I really started to question the time to photo them, to list them, to ship them. We have employees taking the photos now and doing some of the listings, so I have to look at their cost. So a $10 profit item on eBay anymore, not exactly worth it. So I'm learning to increase that margin and go for higher sell price. Do you charge for individual training on selling on eBay? Just kidding, but I pray nothing but the best for you guys. Keep up the great work. Yeah, we don't do coaching. We don't do one-on-one paid stuff. We do have our VIP group, which is where it's a lot more condensed information. We've got, I think, over 80 recorded VIP shows and training videos already. So the VIP group is pretty much our only paid thing that's as close to coaching as we offer. And I don't offer coaching, not that I couldn't do it, but I feel that I need to build our own business up to a much larger scale, as proof and credibility that we know exactly how to do it, what we're talking about. Not that we don't know what we're talking about. That's just a personal thing. I want more credibility in our actual revenue and our profit per year on strictly the reselling side. So that's going to take a bit of time. It's also very time consuming too. That's the other reason I don't necessarily offer that, is because it's very, very time consuming to do one-on-one phone calls or Zoom calls with people versus, maybe something I'll offer is some type of group coaching, every week or something like that. We've got some stuff we're rolling out this year, but it's going to be a few months. All right, crew, I got a couple more minutes and then I got to go finish up a client shipment. Without getting personal, how do you pay yourself with so many different income streams? A percentage at the end of the month or just a fixed amount? We just do a fixed amount. I'm not a CPA, so I only take this stuff with a grain of salt. Talk to your CPA, consult with your accountant, all that legal jargon. We want to pull out for personal income. We want to pull out as minimum as we possibly can. Like bare bone basics. We actually don't spend much money on ourselves. Like looking at the personal side, we have super crazy cheap rent we don't even have, like, a lot of people don't realize this. We live in a duplex. It's the equivalent of an apartment, because we get stupid cheap rent, and I'm going to hold on to that as long as I can. So we have cheap rent. We pay for gas. I love my ribeyes. So that's the one thing I waste a little bit of money on, is good food, but we don't, like, I used to buy shoes all the time. I used to buy, like, even my own Funko Pops. I flip enough Funko to get mine for free technically, but we don't spend a lot of money. So we pull out as minimum set amount as possible per month. And again, consult with your CPA, your accountant, to see what's best for you guys. It might be a percentage. It might be a fixed amount for you. It's different for everybody. Do I think selling Funko is going downhill? No. I can tell you, I know many people that make many, many thousands of dollars a month selling Funko. Has it gotten more competitive is a better question. And that answer is yes. There's many, many more people. Same thing with Amazon FBA. There's many more people selling them now, but as long as you know which advantage you have, which edge to bring, you're going to be fine. And we got Gretchen there, so it's a win-win. We sell lots of vintage stereo and electronics, but lots of people don't know how to operate them once they receive it. That's hilarious. I've had a few items like that where, like, it's broken. I'm like, you've got to do this one thing to make it work. I actually did that. So we got a little water dispenser, like the water cooler. So we have a water dispenser over here, and we had it the first week, and I went to go make some tea. And I'm like, the stupid hot water thing doesn't work. And then Trista was like, there's a button on the back half of it you have to push to, like, activate the hot water side, which So I was going to contact Amazon and be like, this unit's broken. So I was about ready to be one of those customers. Have you all signed up for eBay managed payments or still using PayPal? We just do PayPal. I've honestly not even looked into like the managed payment ordeal. I heard, I don't know if it's true, they're going to like mandatory switch everyone over at some point. I have no idea. But we've been using PayPal and it's worked out fine for us so far. All right, my friends. Thanks for tuning in to another live show. Hope you guys are enjoying the content that we have back up here. We are at our hour together. So stay tuned for next Tuesday. We'll be back on for another live show. Trista's back. Should be all healed up, so she'll be joining us again. So if you guys have any topics you would like us to... Did it come with instructions? I'm a dude. It probably did, and I threw them away. Let's be honest here. But if you have any suggestions on topics you would like Trista and I bring to the table for a live show, feel free to comment below. And we're always writing down some ideas and bringing you guys the best content that we possibly can. And also stay tuned. We've got plenty of videos coming out. I'm back on recording every single day, editing every single day. I just finished editing a what sold video on 4 expensive items, collector's items that we just recently sold. So that will be dropping tomorrow morning. So as always, thanks for tuning in. Peace out, crew. See you next time.